Hello, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to today's video. So today's video I'm going to do question number 3 from December 2018, and question number 3 I'm going to cover net present value and adjusted present value. Okay, this is a question in from investment appraisal. As I told you, I promised to do one question from each section. So recently I have completed risk management, then I have completed acquisition and merger. I have completed theory part. So now I'm left with investment appraisal and reconstruction and reorganizations, right? So inshallah we'll be covering all the sections. So starting with question 3. Since it's an investment appraisal where you have to calculate net present value, adjusted present value, we definitely need a spreadsheet. We cannot use word process over here because you have to make a cash flow columns, a table, and then we need the spreadsheet. Okay, and if you see the requirements, we have completed part B when I discussed the theory part, how to write theory part. So I'm not going to do part B here, only part A. Calculate the adjusted present value for the project and conclude whether the project should be accepted or not. Even though they say calculate adjusted present value, it still means you have to calculate the net present value, because without calculating your net present value, you cannot calculate adjusted present value. So you see, you have to be good in calculating net present value. Sometimes they will give you calculate adjusted present value. That means you have to calculate both net present value and adjusted present value. Sometimes it is just the net present value without adjusted present value. Okay, in that case you have to just do net present value, and you have to conclude whether the project should be accepted or not. So part A is your calculation, entirely calculation. Okay, if you see the Ambali company, you can see that it needs to make a new investment of 150 million. Okay, so these things you can just highlight and keep. Or what you can do is, since there are so many exhibits and you have to highlight maybe each exhibit, you can copy paste it in the scratch pad and keep, or write it somewhere. Investment is this much, sales is this much, cost is this much, because anyway you have to make a cash flow, right? So you need all this. Working capital is this much. Now project information. So when you see the project information, okay, so post tax cash flow has been presented to you for the 4 year. That means it will be for 4 year, and post tax already adjusted for tax. Even the realizable value has been given to you. Next we have the working capital, which is not included. So let me highlight it. Okay, not included in the estimates above, and fund from retained earnings will also be required immediately for the project rising by the predicted rate of inflation. Rising by the predicted rate of inflation. So you see your working capital will increase by inflation. We have to see for the inflation what is inflation. If you see, these are the inflation: 8, 6, 5 and 4%. And any remaining working capital will be released in full at the end of the project, right? It's always released. We assume that's an assumption, whether they write it or not. Okay, next we have the finance to prepare the following finance package for the new investment. So for the new investment, that 150 million we saw in exhibit 1, they need for new investment. How this 150 is divided, that you have to understand. Bank loan 70 million, right? And this bank loan is repayable in equal annual installments over the project's life, that is 4 years, and interest payable is 8%. Next, subsidized loan for a government. Now all these things, subsidized loan and all, you need it for what? Adjusted present value calculation. Okay, subsidized loan for a government loan scheme over the project's life, on which interest payable is 3.1% per year. This information, this table is given to you to calculate adjusted present value. Okay, up to this much you will be able to calculate inflation, but when you come to this two item, 70 million and 80 million, you have to use it for adjusted present value. Next we have issue cost. Okay, issue cost you have to highlight. Issue cost of 3% of gross proceeds will be payable on the subsidized loan. Which loan? Subsidized loan, 80 million. Okay, no issue cost will be payable on the bank loan. Issue costs are not allowable for tax. Okay, and financial information. So tax is 30%. Definitely you need the tax rate. Okay, you can highlight it separately. Tax is 30% in the same year in which it arises. Because I've told you the three assumptions, remember? Either half in this year, half next year, full this year, or full next year. So this is same year when the profit arises, so it's good in a way. And you have been given all this, you'll be given. Okay, see, whenever you are given adjusted present value to calculate, or sometimes net present value to calculate, but you are not given the discount factor. In that case, what they will do is they will give you the asset beta, equity beta, and all. Why? For you to find the cost of capital. First, that means first you have to find the cost of capital or cost of equity, and then discount the net present value or adjusted present value. Like in this case, you have not been mentioned about cost of equity, you have not been mentioned about cost of capital. You have to find out. Okay, asset beta is 1.14 and current market return. So risk free. So market return and risk free rate 11% and 4% is given. It is capital asset pricing model for you to find cost of equity. Okay. Next, the chairman has noted that all of the company's debt, including new debt, will be repayable within 3 to 5 years. Okay, he's wondering whether the company should develop a longer term financing policy in broad terms and how flexible this policy should be. So this last section, last paragraph is for part B, okay, which is not required in part A. Now I'm going to open my spreadsheet. Okay, I'm going to keep my project information in front of me. How do I start? Okay, how do I start? So you start with year. Oh, see, I typed, but it didn't type because I didn't double click in the cell. Okay, year, and then start with 0 always when it's cash flow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Usually what I do is when as soon as I do, I start formatting it. Why? Because later I might forget, or then it does not take so much of time, provided that you have a very high speed in doing your calculation and then formatting also. Okay, like wherever you have to bold, wherever you have to just center a line, you do it. Now, before I even write the number, I'm not going to write the whole million in the cell. Okay, I'm going to drop down the millions. So what this you have to write, sorry. This you have to write in millions or in thousands or in hundreds, whatever you are writing, you have to write this. So this I'm going to just see what happens if I drag this. Okay, so you can just drag it or copy paste it to each item. So I'm going to bold this center. Okay, so everything is in millions. You always have to write, don't forget to write this in millions. Now I'm going to start. What is your first post-tax operating cash flows? Okay, definitely to write that post-tax, I need a bigger space. So post-tax operating cash flows. So what are the post-tax operating cash flows from 1? I can see from here. What is it? 28, 36.7, 44.4, 50.9. Let me see whether I can copy paste it or not. Copy. Paste. If I pasted it, it didn't paste. Now let me see. We take it one by one. It didn't paste. So it's better that I write it. 28.5, 36.7, 44.4 and 50.9 exactly from the table you're writing. Okay, I will make each one to 2 decimal place. Okay, format cells, number, okay, 2 decimal place, and I will make sure that this The whole thing is center aligned. Okay. Next, what is the next item? Next item is investment. I have nothing to take from. And if you have seen one thing, when you have to calculate just the net present value, the normal net present value, what happens is without adjusted present value, in this post-tax operating cash flow, this itself you have to find out. That means they will give you some sales, then you have to inflate, then they will give you some cost that you have to inflate, then you minus sales, minus cost, and then you get some profit. That profit you change to cash flow by taking tax allowable depreciation, deducting, adding back, if you have seen it, right? So all this thing is required when only net present value is done. So can you see the examiner how he's testing you? When he's testing adjusted present value also, your work in the net present value section reduces. That means you don't have to work so much in the net present value. Can you understand? Because already the cash flows will be given to you, or the cost of capital will be given to you. Where adjusted present value is not there, then in the net present value you have to do a lot of work. So if they are asking you two things, adjusted present value and net present value, they will balance it out. How they will balance? In the net present value, you don't have to do so much of work, because already adjusted present value is there and you have to do work in the adjusted present value. So they will not give you too much of work, right? By giving adjusted present value, also by giving a long cash flow to find net present value also, that they will not give. So net present value, they will make it easier for you if adjusted present value is asked. So investment, if I've seen the new investment was 70 plus 80, 150, you have to write it whole 150. I will write it in minus. Okay, if I write 150, okay, make sure that you write 150.00. Okay, if I'm taking it 0.00, it's not taking, so I need to format the cells and take it to this places. Okay, make sure that it is in minus, don't put bracket, because what happens is when you put bracket and when you put function, it does not take it. Okay, but you can try, you can see, put the bracket and try yourself. Next, after investment comes realizable value. We have a realizable value also. So realizable value last year was how much it is? From the project information, it is 45. So 45. Okay, so if you see 45, it will not take it. The whole table you need to format cells. Okay. Next, working capital. For working capital, you have to do working. Remember, you have to inflate it. So working one is required. Okay, so either you can take some space and do your workings down, or you can do your workings in the scratch bed, wherever it is, but I prefer you do it in the below. Okay, working capital. And remember that you cannot add or delete cells or columns, so you have to be very careful about how many spaces you need. So you can just have, because definitely after working capital we have nothing to deduct, so this line can be used, right, for cash flows, and then discount factor, and then present value, and then base. So I can start from here. Okay, this much space will be enough, where I can write my workings. Okay, so working, you have to label it. Which working? Number one, working capital. If it's for working capital, you write working capital. This much is enough. Okay, now working capital, when you have to do, here also you have to put like this, year starting with 0. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here also you have to take dollar in million. Even in working also you have to write it. And when you drag it to the other cells, it will take same. Next comes your working capital and required or released. Required. Okay. Required, released, sorry. Either you require it, either you are going to release it. Okay. So working capital, you start from, okay, what is your working capital? You need to go to project information and see your working capital starts with 6. Okay. So starts with 6 means this is year 1. Okay. This will be required immediately. Required immediately they do. So required immediately 6 million will come here. 6. Okay. Sorry, 6. If you put 6.00, if you see it will come as 6, you need to format the cells. Okay. If you cannot format from right click, you can go up here, format cells, and you can press this 0.00 and it will come. Make sure that when here it is, you are taking in 2 decimal places. Everywhere you need to take in 2 decimal places. Consistency has to be there. Okay. Wait a minute. I will just next. So here, since it is required, whatever is required, okay, in year 0 I will put it in plus sign. Okay, here, so in year 1 it will be 6. Okay, next. So next year, how will you go for year 2? This will come in here. Whatever is required in year 0, next year it will be the working capital. Okay, so 6 goes here. So that's how it works. Now project information. They told that it will rise by rate of inflation. So what is the rate of inflation? 8% in year 1, right? So you take 8% of 6. 8% of 6 will be 0.48, right? So how much you require? That much you require. 0.48. Okay, if you want to show this how 0.48, you can do a calculation over here, equal to 0 or 8%, you can do a 0.08 multiply by 6%, 0.48 only. Okay, it's better that you showed a working rather than just putting 0.48, so that here they can see that you have taken the 8%. Next, same 0.4. No, I'm sorry, here. If you see working capital in year 1 is 6 and now you require 0.48. So you add both this and then you put in year 2's working capital. That's how it goes for every year, okay? It keeps on building up. 6.48. Or if you want, you can sum. Right? Next, how are you going to get the next one? What is the next year's inflation is 6%. 6% on what? 6% on 6.48. So here I'm going to do equal to 6% multiply by this rate 6.48, 0.39. So next, when I take equal to sum, you have to add this both 6.87. Now I'm going to take what is the inflation, 5% and 4%. 5%. Okay, so equal to 5% multiply by this 0.34. See how the numbers are coming. It will always come in 2 decimal places because you have formatted all the cells like that. Next, when you put sum, okay, $7.21. Now you are not taking, what is it, 4%. 4% of 7.21. Now you will not take 4% of 7.21 when you come to the year 4. Even though if you see the project information, they told that in year 4 is 4%. No. When you come here, required how much? No, because why? Because one statement they told that you are going to release it. Any remaining working capital will be released in full at the end of the project. Any release require this one. Remaining working capital. It will be released in full at the end of the working. So when is the end of the project? The 4th year. How much you're going to release it? What is the working capital? It's easy. Whatever is the working capital here, release it in full means the whole 7.21 will be released. That's what's in bracket. Okay. There is another way of checking it also. The total from year 0 to 3 has to be equal to this 4th year. Okay. So I will just put this to show you equal to sum. The total will be released in year 4. If you see 7.21. To 2 decimal places if you take, it will be 7.21 only. Okay. This is a way of checking. Or this whole working capital. So it will be 7.21. Okay. So now we can go to the working capital, and what are we going to put? We are going to put this table. I will make it in bold so that you can understand. 6, 0.48, the required one, okay? And finally, this one, 7.21. Okay, but when you put here in the table, all the one which will be what? Required will be in bracket, because definitely you need working capital in the beginning and all. It will be in bracket. Even though in working it is in negative, positive, it will be in bracket because you are requiring it. 0.48. So it will be in, I'm sorry, you can show it in, okay, we'll keep it in bracket and see whether our some function works or not. Then later we can change it to minus. Okay, in that case we'll make this also in bracket. Zero 0.48, 0.39. Next, 0.34. And finally it is in positive, 7.21. I'm going to release this. Okay, all the time working capital in each, all the years it's negative. When you're releasing it, it will be positive. When you see here it's a negative, right? No, in the working you are showing it like this because you're just calculating how much you require. That's why you're taking it in positive. But when you're putting it in the cash flow, you're taking it in negative. The required amount in negative, the released amount in positive. Next, what do we have? Next, all is just take cash flows. Okay, so cash flows. Either you can underline this whole thing. Okay, so now equal to sum. Do you see what happened when you take sum? It's showing 0. Why? Negative. No, it is in bracket. So now I'm going to change the sign to negative. And now check. You see, when you put bracket, it will show you 0. It will not sum the negative number. That's why you have to take it in minus. So I will change everywhere. Okay, I can just drag this. It's not working. Just see what's happened when I dragged. Why it happened like this? Do you know the reason why it happened, why 0.48 came? Because see, when I sum, just see, it didn't take this one, because initially when I took, it took just in this, so it will copy all the cells. So that's why you have to be very careful when to copy paste and when not to. Okay, so rather than deleting one by one, which will waste a lot of time, I'm just going to undo it. That's it. So now when I take here, what I'm going to do is, or another thing you can do here is, when you're taking the sum, rather than taking this to voltage, just take this amount, take till here. Now you can copy paste, it will take the, just see, now you are getting an answer, because now they are taking this and this. So it depends in the first cell, when you're taking the sum function, what all cells it's taking. Let's say if it's taking only this, if it's taking this portion, then when it's copy paste also it will take this portion. But when you're taking just from here, it will just take from here. That means only 0.48 is there, it's not taking this one. Right? And you can see by yourself also. Sometimes you have to be very alert, you cannot rely on Excel also, you have to see. Siemens not exactly calculate, but it makes sense, right? Definitely to 28.5 and 0.48. So definitely if this is 0.48, it's wrong. It cannot be 0.48. It has to be something more than 28.5. Okay. So just make sure that you do see all these things. Even when you are using Excel, okay, you just cannot blindly take it. Sometimes you might take wrong cell. Sometimes you might have forgot to take one cell when you are copy pasting. So all those things you need to see. The next is discount factor. Discount factor you need to do working over here. Since I've told you, you can write discount factor or you can just write DF. Okay. For that, W2 working 2. So what I'm going to do is, when I did my workings, make sure it's labeled and it's in order. So now my second working will be for discount rate, because I have to find discount rate. Okay, this will be in bold. So discount rate, how am I going to use? If you think, okay, here they didn't give you anything to find cost of debt. They gave you all the information to find cost of equity. Why is it? Like, I mean, they have given you the asset beta. Usually what happens is they give you that the equity beta of this company is this one, then you take like a proxy company's equity beta, you take it, re-gear, ungear, do all those things. But here it's much easier. Here they have just given, if you see this, sorry, the third information, asset beta, then they have given you the risk-free rate and return on this one. So the information is very simple. Why? The question is, why are you only this much information is enough? Asset beta. See, the reason they are giving you the asset beta is for you to find the equity beta, and that's enough. Why? Because you just need the cost of equity to discover. You are not using cost of capital, because when you are taking adjusted present value also, okay, but there when you calculate the net present value, you discount the net present value by using cost of equity, because you consider it is all equity finance. So the base case net present value is considered as you are financing it completely by equity, no debt is there. That's why you discount it by using cost of equity, not cost of capital. So that's why if you find the equity beta, that's enough. You can find the cost of equity. Okay, so that means this asset beta 1.14, there will be no equity beta, because equity beta means what? Equity beta considers debt also in that. Okay, so with asset beta means it's just equity only, no debt. So that means with this asset beta, you can find cost of equity. You just take this 1.14 asset beta into the capital asset pricing model and find cost of equity. That's it. Okay, because most of you will be confused how to find cost of equity beta, because what they have given is asset beta and risk free rate and market risk premium. So you must be wondering where's the equity beta and struggling to find out. This is the mistake you have to avoid. You have to first understand the question is not normal net present value. This is an adjusted present value question. So when you're calculating net present value, cost of equity. So cost of equity you can find by asset beta. Asset beta means only equity is there, no debt. That's what asset beta means. So that's why this asset beta you can multiply by the difference between 2 and plus risk-free rate. Normally what we do is we take equity beta in the capital asset pricing model, not asset beta. But here, when it is adjusted present value equation, we can take asset beta. So that's what I wanted to show you. So now when I'm going to find the discount rate, you have to tell what are you using, okay? Using asset beta. Okay. Why asset beta? All equity financed discount rate. You have to write it. That is all equity financed. All equity financed discount rate. You have to write it by the way, okay? Because this is base case net present value. Then 4% is the risk-free rate plus, okay, bracket. So the market risk return is 11% minus 4% close bracket multiply by 1.14 asset beta present. You have to put equal sign. You forgot to put the equal sign. Remember, that's why they're not showing. So enter. You have to put the equal sign before anything. And once you put enter, it will show you 11.98. What you can do, you can take the rounded figure and use 12%. You yourself can use the round function or you just can put 12%. Okay. Third. Okay, so 12% is the discount factor. Always take the whole number discount factor. Okay. So here the discount factor will be what? 12%. Just write it in front of it. Okay. So for discount factor, you can go to the table and see. What table? Help formula sheet, and then this is the discount factor present value table. Okay. So go to 12% and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this 4 rates 0.893, 0.797, 0.712 and 0.636. So for 0 it is not required. It will be 1. Okay, you have to write 1.000. If you see here, it's showing you 2 decimal places because we have formatted to 2 decimal places. Now you need to format this 3 into 3 decimal places because when it comes to discount factor. So format cells, how are you going to take to 3 decimal places? Okay, it's not showing, wait. So number and yes, another thing why they are not taking the sum function in bracket is because here already the format you are taking is minus. So first you have to take it in terms of bracket before you can use it. That's why our bracket sign was not working. Please understand why your bracket sign is not working, because it works in minus only. In the format cells you can go and format it also. Okay, what's happening is it's not working to just keep it like this 1.000. Oh, it's not working. It needs to be. If you see here, this has some other functions, okay, which I have no idea about. So just keep it to general. Okay, and 1.000. So if you see, it's not taking it into 3 decimal places. It's not taking it into decimal places. It's taking it in 2 decimal places. So I think it will not take it in 3 decimal places. It has been okay. But remember, we learned how to round it up to 3 decimal places. We have that function. So what happens is when you're taking it, you can round it up. Equal round. Okay. Press round 1, comma 2. Sorry, 3 because you want 3 decimal places and enter. Sorry, 4. Just press 4 and see. No, it's not. Okay, let's put this number and then we'll see. Round this number. You have to press equal to, sorry, I forgot, equal. It will not take it. So let's keep it. So okay, but it does not matter for 1. Okay, the rest all here it's not taking. Why is it? So if you see here, it's taking it in 0.89. 3 it is taking 0.89. But we have to solve this issue. Why it's not working? What's the next number? 0.797. 0.797. Everything is taking as 1. So there is an issue with all this. So that's what it's doing. Zero 0.8. Okay. Zero 0.712 and 0.636. 0.636. Do you see how much time we are taking? All this are in 4 decimal places. But when you see the table, it is in 3 decimal places. So let's try to copy paste it. It will not copy paste. right? You cannot take as text, because if you take it as text, your function will not work. But if you take it in text, it will work. Right? All these are dollar. Okay, so maybe they will take it. Okay, we'll keep it as it is and see how it discounts. So we'll just put underline, and then what we are going to find is the present value, PV. You can even write PV also, or present value. So here what we are going to do is just multiply by this. You say it's 1 minus 56, okay? It's in 2 decimal places, we have to form it. Okay, minus 156. Okay, 65. So in some places with something went a little wrong. When I can check with my answer, this 3, 1, 2, 3 is something is wrong with 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I have understood. This has to be in minus. The reason you change someplace, it will change it everywhere, so you don't have to worry about what if it's wrong somewhere. This is in minus. Okay, so now I think it's correct. Those were positive, the working capital were positive signs. I forgot to take it in negative. Now it is correct. So what happens is, even though here, other thing you don't have to worry is that it will not show in 3 decimal places, because we in the Excel I cannot find it. It has been formatted 1 decimal place or 2 decimal place. So what happens is, here when you click, okay, when you take it here, it will show you the number. So when they're discounting it by using this whole number, but here they will show it as 1. Okay, or this maybe you can format and take it in 2 decimal places. Okay, but when they're taking it, they will discount using the whole number. When you click here, you can see the number here, but they will show you in 2 decimal places. So for that, you don't have to worry about. Okay, it will discount it, and you will exactly get the same answer as the one which is given in the answer. Next, what is it? So you get underline. Okay, and when you write it, you have to write base case net present value. I'm going to write NPV. You can write NPV also. Okay, what is it? Sum. Okay, if you see it's in minus 5.09. So what I can do is take in 2 decimal places. Okay, so if you see their base case net present value is negative. Okay, whenever you get this negative, okay, I will put a cell color. What am I going to write? It's better that you have to write this sentence. Okay, base case net present value is is negative. You can even write the amount also, 5.09 million. Okay, it will be $5.09 million. So the base case net present value is negative. In bracket you can write dollar 5.09 million. You can write million. Base case net is negative. So the investment should be rejected. So the investment, you have to write this, okay? So the investment should be rejected. Okay. When you extend the line, just see what happens. So you can either keep it as like this or you can undo it. It does not matter as far as you write the lines, okay? Next, whatever the workings you have hereafter will be for your adjusted present value. For your net present value, your calculation is over. Okay. So now, when you go to your adjusted present value, right, definitely you need workings. Okay. So what happen is, first we'll finish all the workings and then we'll find the adjusted present value. Okay, that's how adjusted present value calculation is supposed to be. So now I'm going to work it as working number 3. What is working number 3? I can find my issue cost. Okay, issue cost is the easiest in adjusted present value, so we'll finish off with that. I'm going to bold this out because consistency. Okay, all my workings are in bold, the headings. Now for that I'm going to go here, reject information, issue cost. How much was the issue cost? It is 3% on gross proceeds. On which loan? Subsidized loan. Subsidized loan is 80 million. Okay, 3% gross proceeds. Okay, so the working for issue cost is like this. On 80 million, 3%, remember it. Okay, so when you are taking it, it will be 80. Okay, either you can write in the first column or in the second column, whatever you prefer. If you see the other work, let's see the other workings. So we'll do the workings here and write it in the second. So issue cost, or okay, issue cost will be 80, or what you could do is you could write 80 million divided by 0.97 and keep it like this. 80 million divided by 0.97. Okay, sorry, 80 million divided by 0.97, and here you can do the calculation. 80 divided by 0.97. Okay, so this is the issue cost. Next, what do you have to find? You have to find 3% on that. That's how you find issue cost. First, when they say when they tell you that issue cost of 3% on gross profit, then you take the 80 million, the amount of subsidized loan, divide by 0.97. Then on that you are taking 3%. That's how you get the issue cost. Okay. So when you are taking it equal to 3%, sorry, 3% multiply by this amount, you're getting this much, right? But this much, if you see, you have to convert it into millions. It's not 2.47, it is 2474227. So what you can do is, here when you're taking 80, you can take 80 million. Okay, 1 2 3 1 2 3, 6 zeros. Okay, millions means 6 zeros. Enter. Just undo it. Okay, so don't put comma, just put number. 1 2 3 1 2 3. Automatically it will change. Okay, you can even round this up to whole number. If you take all, it will round up. Okay, so there will be no issue cost for the bank loan. Clearly they have told no issue cost will be available on bank loan. So you don't have to write it, right? It's already there. So just keep this in bold because this is what I need, the issue cost. Next, I will go to my fourth working. What is it? What is it? Tax shield. I have to find the tax shield on both the subsidized and the bank loan. So separately I will work one by one. First on subsidized loan, then I will work on the bank loan. Okay. Tax shield. Always tax shield and all you have to know how to work for adjusted present value. Okay. Subsidized loan. If there are two things, you have to work out the tax shield on the two things separately. Don't add the two things and then find the tax shield because the interest rate is different on both the loans. Okay. Subsidized loan. So it's not 80 plus 70, 150 and on that you find tax shield. No, 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 no. 80 and 70 separately you have to find. Tax shield on subsidized loan. So I will hold it out. Okay. All these are workings. Okay. You need all these workings. The reason why I'm doing all the working is because adjusted present value is just the addition of all your uh, tax shield and all your issue cost and all. That's it. There is nothing, no format for adjusted present value. That's why we can do all the workings. But for net present value, there's a table like how this one. Okay, this table is there. You can even format this and put a table around here to go to format cells and do that. Okay, border and all you can put. Right, which I'm not going to. I'm not going to show it here, but then you can do it when you are practicing. Tax shield. So bank loan was 70 million. Sorry, subsidized loan. I'm sorry, subsidized loan was 80. Okay, and they have been told that interest rate is. They have given you the interest rate and they told equally you will pay annually, so 4 years. So for the tax shield purpose, both for the bank loan and subsidized loan, one thing you can use, one table. What is it? Annuity table. Exactly, annuity table. So write it here, use. Okay, annuity table. Use present value of an annuity. This you have to write years, which years you have to write, because when you go to table you have to know which one you are using. 1 to 4 at what percent, at what rate you are using. You can even write down below. At what rate? If you see it is at 8%, interest rate is at 8%, so we are using 8%. Okay, you can even use others also, other rates, but if you use, let's say for example, risk free rate you have been given as 4% here previously, then you go to final, so that also you can use, but then you have to justify. I mean, you have to give your assumptions why. Here they have used normal interest rate, right? Sorry, I've been using subsidized loan, right? Yes, so for subsidized loan also what they have done is they are taking what, 8%, the normal borrowing rate. Why they, okay, that 8% is the normal borrowing rate, but you have to be careful. You might be asking why not 3.1%. You can even use 3.1% also. Okay, you are free, that also you can use, but here they have just used 8% because they are assuming 8% is the normal discount rate. Okay, for the subsidized loan I'm talking about, they have used 8% because this 8% is normal bank loan, normal interest rate. So that also you can use, or 3.1% also you can use to discount or find the tax shield on your subsidized loan. So let's go by the marking scheme. Let's go by the 8%. But if you are using 3.1%, you are not wrong. Okay, so just write 8% is that normal borrowing rate. It's better to write it in front that what rate it is. Okay, now you can show down below. Okay, so equal to 80, okay, multiply by, I will just not open the bracket because I'll need it later on. Subsidized loan is 80 million, okay. Then you are finding what? 3.1%. Multiply by 30% because tax is 30%. Then what are you doing? You are multiplying by the annuity factor. Which annuity factor? Now we are going to use the table for that. So go to formula sheet, go down below. Annuity table is there. Which rate were you using? 8%. Now do you see another thing comes is when you're using 3.1% as an annuity factor. Okay, it's hard to get, isn't it? Because we have been given 3% and 4%, but not 3.1%. So it's better for you to use percentages where easily you can use the annuity table table like 8%, like whole number. So right here how they have used 8%. But in case if you cannot use it from the table like this, the formula is here. This formula you can use. This formula is for decimal places like 3.1% if you want. Then you can use this to find the present value. Okay. But let's say we are using 8% and for 4 years. So for 4 years, it is this one. This is the answer. 3.312. Okay. Maybe that's the reason why the marking scheme use 8%. Like it's easy. Okay. 3.312. Put enter. Okay. And if you are putting it in million, if you go here, so it's better that don't put comma. Without comma, you just put 123, 123, 6 zeros after 80. Enter. It will show you the whole amount. Okay. If you want this number to be shown in dollar and million, if you want sideways, you can write here in dollar and all. Okay. Now coming to the fifth one. What is the fifth one? Okay, so this also we need bold. We'll write it. So issue cost is there. Issue cost will be negative. Okay. And this one. So this I will put it in negative from now itself. How will I put it in negative? Outside just put a negative sign. That's it. It will be enough for you to, because issue cost I have to deduct it. And tax shield is something which is positive. It will be added. So without this thing, okay, these two things. Coming to 5, working number 5. What is working number 5? Tax shield on bank loan. Okay. So when I come to tax shield on bank loan, remember bank loan was at 3 no annuity factor. So you have used the annuity factor using 8% here, right? And you got it as 3.312 for subsidized loan. So same here also it will be 3.312 also. You don't have to waste time to find the annuity factor again if you are using it by 8%. Okay. So if you want to find the annual repayment, right, it will be just 70 million divided by that annuity factor. That's it. Let us go to the bank loan and see. Bank loan repayable in equal annual installments over the project's life. So we have to find what is that equal annual installments. That means there's 70 million. In each year, how much it will be paid? It has to be equal, okay, annually, all the 4 years. So 70 divided by the annuity factor. Annuity factor just now we got 3.312 based on 8%. And anyway, the interest rate for bank loan is 8%. So what are you going to do is equal to 70 divided by 3.312 because that's the annuity factor. It's better that you put it in terms of million. So 123, 123, 6 zeros plus 1 from 70, so 7 zeros. Okay. Now if you want this to round it to whole number, okay, you can do it here. Round this number, comma 0. It will round this number to whole. Okay. Now mind you, this is the equal annual repayment. Okay. It is known as this is annual repayment. I forgot to write it. Always write what you are doing. If it's so, this is annual repayment. Okay, annual you are paying, but you have to make a table here. Now, tax shield. Whenever bank loan comes, okay, this is for bank loan purpose. This table is required. Okay. What is it? I guess this is just to check. No, no. We have to find the tax shield. Tax shield means we have to find the interest also each year. So to find that interest, this is required. Okay. Keep a space and put here. Starting with not 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'm sorry. It's bold and okay. Now I'm just dropping down the 3 zeros. So when I'm dropping down, not in millions, I'll be writing it like this. Currency 000. Now I have to format. When I format, I go to custom. Okay, I have to put it in dollar. There are 4 things for dollar you can use here. Let's see how it works. Custom, we'll use the second one and see. Okay, this what you can do is this you can write in text. So format cells and write it in terms of text. $000 $000. If you write $000, it's not showing. So what you will do is you will write dollar and then you will put a comma and then write 000. So just put a comma or some sign in before. Otherwise it will take it in terms of dollar. Okay, for you to show that you're writing dropping down the 3 zeros. Dollar. Okay, like this. Just if you write $000 or just 000, it will not. It will treat it as a currency or a number. That's why only 1 0 will come. So next, you start with opening balance. Okay, opening balance, because this is a bank loan. So you start with opening balance. The next one will be on that you pay interest. What percent? 8%. Interest at 8%. Next we have the repayment. Okay, and then after that we have the closing balance. This is required for bank loan whenever your annual installments and interest is given. Okay, so what is the opening balance? What was the bank loan for? You're dropping down the 3 zeros. So 70 million, you will just take it as 70,000. Now do you understand why I didn't usually what happened in here? When you see I have taken in terms of millions, but here in thousands. Why? Because when I take in the interest on just 70, it becomes very small, very small, right? So That's why I just dropped down the 30 so that when I take 8% on 70,000 rather than 70, it makes sense. I can easily calculate it. Okay. But in case if you want to drop down in millions and you want to work it like that, you can drop down the other 3 zeros also and it will be just 70, which will be the opening balance. And then in this case, you have to take this also in terms, drop down the millions and work, and even the interest 8% will be on that, which will become very, very small amount. So it becomes again more confusing for you. But if anyone feels comfortable working like that, that is also acceptable. But again, you have to be wise enough. Okay, how many zeros you want to drop down and work on. So if you take 8%, okay, don't just do 8% manually. Take it like this. 8% on this. Close bracket, comma. Next, what is the repayment? Repayment is fixed. What is it? 21. So here I'm going to drop down 3 zeros. So that means 3 means just cut this 3 digits, the 662. Okay, so I'm remaining with 21135. 21135. Okay, so minus, okay, 21135. Okay, just I'm dropping down the 3, this thing, because this is the whole amount is in millions. Already it's in million. Okay, I have already taken, just see here, when I did this, already I have taken 70 million. So this answer. In other case, if you want to find this in terms of thousands, you are dropping, just drop down the 3 zeros and see what happens. 21135, exactly the same answer, right? You just have to be wise enough to know all this. Okay, so repayment I can just copy paste, it will be same only all the 4 years. Okay, so now what I do, I will just put a sum. Okay, you don't have to worry about negative and all. When it's sum, it will automatically deducted. So take all this. Okay, I will put an underline here. Okay, now what happens is this I will copy paste here. Okay, this closing balance definitely become the opening balance in the next year. You see what happened? What happened when I copy pasted it? When I copy pasted this one, it just didn't copy paste the whole number. Why? Because this is a function. If it was just a number, I could have copy pasted it. So in that case, what should I do? Either you can write the whole number, type it, or just copy the function here also, write sum, take this, enter. Okay, now if you copy paste it like this, automatically it will take the interest on this. Just see here, click. If you want to be sure, confirm whether once you copy pasted it is correct or not, just click on the cell and see. It have taken the 8% on C37. It have taken the interest on this only. So technically it's correct, right? Interest you have to add with the opening balance and repayment deducted. And then just copy paste it. It will copy paste it, right? Just see. If you want, just take it, custom. We'll take in terms of whole number. Okay, whole number. So what I can do is I can just copy paste it. Sorry, I can just when I copy pasted now, what happened? Imagine if I had taken the number and wrote. If I just type number here 544. It will, if I copy paste, it will not copy paste. It will just copy paste the same number. Now when I copy pasted it, dragged it to 3 and 4, the formula itself is copied, the sum. So that means here it will add up all this. It is same as this. Can you see? Even this, I can just drag it. I don't have to find 8% manually each time. Automatically it will take. I just need to extend this line a bit to say the whole amount. And I just need to copy paste this also. No need to do function, sum function. Automatically it will take. Just see. Automatically it took. You see, this is the beauty of Excel. So if you see what happens when you pay annually, this should be 0. Okay, but here it's -2. It does not, it's okay. The reason why it's -2 due to rounding, we have rounded up, that's why it's showing this, right? Even in the repayment also, when we didn't take the whole repayment, we rounded up the repayment, that's why it's showing -2. So that small rounding difference does not matter a lot. Okay, what I wanted to show is when you pay annually, your whole 70 million goes off. It has to become 0. Okay, does not matter. Now based on the interest, we have to find the tax relief, and we have to discount and find the present value on that. So what I'm going to do is copy. Okay, copy paste here. Paste. Okay, the reason I pasted, I needed it again. So interest costs. Okay, interest cost is how much? It will show value. Why? Because remember, we calculate a formula. Whenever function is used in a cell, you cannot just copy pasted it. So just undo. It's better. Okay, so you can write the whole number 5600 4357. I'm taking the whole number. Okay, 3015. Whatever the interest at 8%, this cell I'm taking. Okay, and 1565. Now on this interest, tax relief. Tax relief at 30% because tax is at 30%. Right? So just take 30% on each. That's it. Equal to 30% multiplied by this rate. Once you take 30%, it's enough. Just drag it. Okay. Discount factor. What is the discount factor? 8% because interest rate for bank loan is 8%. So discount factor also 8%. Okay, remember this is not 1 because this is not starting from year 1. Sorry, year 0. This is starting from year 1. This is the mistake most of you do because we have been programmed. Our mind has been conditioned that we always start with 1.00 and then no, this is year 1. Check the year. So discount factor is at 8%. Go and check your annuity table. Sorry, discount factor table. It is 0.926. Here it will show in 2 decimal place. Does not matter. Okay, here it's showing. Wow, I mean it's okay. So you just don't format the cell. Okay, 0.857, 0.794, that's 0.735. Okay, so now I'm going to find the present value. PV. Sorry, PV. How are you going to find the present value? Just multiply this by this by this, and just drag it to the other cell. Next, what I'm going to do is net present value. Sorry, just undo. Okay, if you want net present value. So net present value is just the sum of all the present value. That's it. Okay, this also you can round up and show. Okay, round, click comma 0 because you want to round up to whole 3739. If you see some, it's showing as 37440, but it's okay, does not matter. Next is subsidy benefit. Definitely we have subsidized loan. What we calculated were tax shell, but what about the subsidy benefit? So it's working number 6. If you see adjusted present value, so many workings are there. That's why it's very important that you practice all these workings, okay, under adjusted present value. So what is the benefit? I'm just going to calculate it as it is. It is 80, sorry, 80, because subsidized loan was 80 million, multiply by, in bracket, okay, when you have to do multiply something, what is it? See, the bank interest, normal bank loan was 8%, but subsidized loan was 3.1%. So benefit will be definitely the difference between the two interest rate, okay? So usually subsidy benefit means the benefit of lower interest, okay? That's why we are taking the difference of the two interest rates. This is not with the tax rate. Okay, now you multiply this by what? By 70%. Why? After tax. That's why, because you have deducted by tax 1 minus 30. Okay, multiply by annuity factor. Why annuity factor? For the 4 years you will be getting this benefit of subsidized loan. 4 years, that's why you have to take the annuity factor and enter. This is the answer. Okay, so here if you want the answer, it's better that you put 80 million 123 123. You will get the whole amount subsidy benefit. Rather than converting it later to millions, is better when you put it in the formula, the function, put the whole number, the millions. But somewhere something went wrong because it's showing one decimal place more. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Next is, and this is the final part, 7, financing side effects. Basically, adjusted present value means we are using the finance, the depth in it. Remember, base case net present value, we didn't take any debt. We assumed it was solely the equity. Now we are adding, basically we are adding everything. Okay, here also when we are taking it, sorry, here dollar, we are dropping down the 3 zeros. Okay, now I can write issue cost. What is the issue cost? Issue cost was in W, working number 3. What is it? How much? Go up and check in your working 3, this one. Copy. Null. Why? Function is there. The function is there. It's the way of copying the function. Wait a minute. Copy. Paste special. So when you go to paste special, it will calculate the formula value form as all. Think. So now when you go to formulas, it will calculate the formula. Okay. Special, just take the values. Okay, so when you take the values, it will not take the function, it will just take the values. That means the number as it is. Okay, so better to round this to whole number. Remember, they have dropped down the 3 zeros. So what I'm going to do is, what am I going to do? Drop down the three zeros. So here what I can do is I can drop down the three zeros, 1, 2, 3, and take this 2474, right? 24, it will show the 2474. So I can take the 2474. Understood? 2474, because here I'm dropping down in three zeros. Minus. Tax shield on subsidized loan. On subsidized loan. But you don't do and go and change there by three zeros, otherwise this number will change. What you can do is copy paste this exact same number on some other cell, and then you drop down the three zeros like from 80 million, and then do it. You will get this. Then you can do it and copy paste it. Okay, I hope you are understanding and not getting confused. Next, what is it? Tax shield on subsidized loan working 4. So you have to refer it to working number 4. If you see, it is following that order 3, 4, 5, 6. You see. So working 4, you go to working 4 and see the sum. This also three digits you have to drop, 1 to 8. So it will be just 2464. 2464. Next we are coming to working number 5. What is working number 5? Tax shield on bank loan. If someone asks me this question that I'm very slow, how to be fast, the question lies with your practice. It's not with me. I cannot answer that question. How to be fast? You have to practice number of times. From day one, that's why from day one you have to practice. The day you started AFM, you have to practice on CBE platform. Any questions you get. What is it? It is this. The tax shield on bank loan. 3739. 3739. Next, subsidy benefit. For subsidy, whenever you get this subsidy, remember two things you have to calculate. One is tax shield, one is the interest benefit, the lower interest benefit. Okay, working 6. What is it? This amount, just do round this number to, or drop down the three zeros, you will say it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So it is 9088. With this subsidy benefit, there is a mistake somewhere. Wait. Because it is supposed to be this, and what happens is finally just add all this, close it. So this is known as total, sorry, just check the column and your rows. Okay, total benefit of financing side effects. Total benefit of financing side effects. You can write it in bold, it's okay, or you can even highlight it also. If you see now, this is your adjusted present value only. It is in positive. So that means this project is worth going on. Before that, let me check the subsidy benefit. What is the thing that went wrong? Okay, so just check here because of this. No, it is 0.7, 70%. This is the mistake. Just see one number. I just wrote 70 rather than 0.7 because it is tax and the whole number changed. That's why very careful when you import. Okay, even though Excel is there, it's easier, calculation is easier, still there are chances of making mistakes. So now what do you have to write? So financing the project in this way would add around 12.82. to the value of the project. Do you see the base case net present value? It was 5.09, something in negative. Project was not worthwhile, but when finance is added, it makes it worth. That's what you have to write in sentences, okay? And there's a question whether you have to write in word process or spreadsheet. I prefer it's better to write it in spreadsheet. Down here you can write, right? Because it's just few lines, or if you want, you can write it in word process also with the figures and all. So the adjusted present value is around 7.73 million. What is adjusted present value? Okay, so the adjusted present value, okay, adjusted present value is what? It will be equal to what? 12.817 minus 5.09. 12.819. 817 minus 5.09. 7.727 or 7.7 million, okay? 7.7 million. 7.7 million. Writing it M. This is your adjusted present value. Minus your base case net present value from your total benefit of financing side effect. That is your adjusted present value and it's positive. So what the project should be accepted. You have to write this, okay? Sensitivity analysis should be undertaken on all the significant variables. Yes. These things you have to write. You just cannot say accept the project or once you say accept the project or project should be accepted because project is giving you a positive adjusted present value, then you have to write all this, okay? Sensitivity analysis should be undertaken on all significant variables. All whenever investment appraisal question comes, right, talk about sensitivity analysis, okay? And also you can talk about further analysis may be needed, particularly of the assumptions which lies behind the post-tax cash flows such as sales and tax rate. The estimated realizable value of 45 million may be questionable. All these things you have to write. Just check the answer, the marking scheme. I'm not able to write the answer, but you go and check the marking scheme. On the other hand, the time horizon of 4 years seems low, and the analysis should be done of potential cash flows beyond that time. All those things needs to be there in your conclusion. That's how you get the total 15 marks. Just calculation is not enough, even though if you see the requirement they told calculate. You have to conclude whether the project should be accepted or not. So you might be saying that I've done the calculation, I've concluded, okay, go ahead with the project. It's not enough. You still have to say that sensitivity analysis has to be done, further analysis has to be done, the time 4 years short, how did you get the tax rate, how did you get the post-tax cash flows, this has to be questioned. This is how you answer investment appraisal conclusion question and give a conclusion. Okay, so with this I end, and I think I'm just left with one topic, which is reconstruction and reorganization, and I will try to pick a question on net present value. I will see if I get a good question. If I get comments below that to do a question on net present value, just net present value, because net present value usually comes. Adjusted present value does not come every time, right? But you have to be prepared for it. But net present value definitely it comes every time. And whether adjusted present value comes or not, anyway net present value you have to know. So if I get comments below that to do a question on net present value, I will definitely do, otherwise I will not do it. But reconstruction and reorganization will be with the next video. Okay, since we have gone through the December 2018 paper, so we saw that there is no reconstruction and reorganization question here. So definitely I have to pick another paper for reconstructions and reorganizations, because reconstruction and reorganization is an area, it's a struggling area, right? It is a challenging area, so it needs to be done. And with that, best of luck for AFM. I think just few more days, a week is left. And also financial management, for financial management students, I will try to do a question, a paper. Okay, till then, best of luck and take care.